I want to tell you about this talk. It's called Women in the Art of Independence. So in 1989, I wrote a book of 350 pages. It was designed to be the front end of a 3-day Women in Wealth seminar. It was to be led by a man named Larry Pino, who you could look up on Google as a very well-to-do man who does a lot of remarkable businesses and also works with various wealth training. We met, and he said, I want to do a seminar on wealth for women. And I said, how are you preparing the women to participate in the seminar? He said, well, once they take my seminar, there won't be a problem. And I said, I disagree. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, if you needed to do a Women in Wealth seminar, then women are not getting it about wealth. He went, oh. And I said, and if women got it about wealth, they'd be clamoring for a seminar. Are they? He said, no. So then there has to be a piece, this is in 1989, between women and understanding the concept of wealth and being available to receive what's in the seminar. So I wrote the front end of that workshop, which ended up being a 350-page self-assessment interactive book, interactive, the woman with herself. And so I wanted to give this talk, which is, of course, an hour and a half, representing pieces of that. Now, how many of you have had the experience where you're preparing something and it's swimming in your head and you know it's in there? I mean, it's in the gurgle stage, right? It's going around and you can feel pieces and it's very juicy. Go ahead. Oh, you've had that experience. I got so excited. The man raised his hand. I went, oh, my God. Okay. Yay. And yet it doesn't quite come forth, right? 2 a.m. last night, your talk is not done. And so, of course, I'm very comfortable being extemporaneous, so I said to myself, okay, God, we got some choices. One is I just show up and speak from the heart, which I'm more than comfortable doing. Another is that when I get up at 6 a.m., you take care of all the things you've got on back handling, meaning you put it in the universe and it's on autopilot, and you just do a download channel for me. So 6 a.m., God and I met in my living room and we did the talk, okay? So this is the talk. Are we still working on this? It's ready? Okay, thank you. Perfect. Now go ahead. Oh, we have to So remarkably, just speaking from the heart and not using PowerPoint. I love PowerPoint. So you're going to have me, the heart, and PowerPoint. And by the way, anybody wants this, give me your card, you can own it. That's my gift to you. So what am I up to in this talk? It's really playing with what is independent. What is it? So I'm curious. Jacqueline, what is independent?
I think freedom.
Freedom. Insaya, what a lovely name.
Independent.
That might be true. You got more than that, or is that enough? Okay, well said. Gentlemen, Dave, what is independent?
Controlling your time, but that's like being...
Controlling your time. Okay. Bob?
Capable of doing what you want to do when you want to do it.
Okay. Annette?
Loving what you do.
Loving what you do. Okay. Lots of remarkable input on independent. So Ralph Waldo Emerson said, our life is an apprenticeship to the truth, that around every circle another can be drawn. That there is no end in nature, but every end is a beginning, and under everything deep, more depth can be found. And in this picture, you see a woman swathed in a sari, feeding a bowl of rats milk. Because she is that, and they are her. Because at the end of the day, is there independence or not? Gone are the days when women were raised to be a wife and a mother and asked the man to take care of her and the family. That doesn't mean women no longer want that. Just means that now there's an opportunity for women to be independent in their ability to be self-sufficient and yet interdependent in how they love and belong. I just want to take a show of hands. How many women in the room still want a man to take care of them? Raise your hand, don't lie to me. Underneath it all. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Now, how many women want that opportunity because it's a choice, not a need? Oh, more hands went up. Oh yeah, okay, more honesty when we relanguage the question. Interesting. So what does it mean for a woman to be independent? I mean, independence requires that a woman takes ownership of creating the life she wants. Now, I asked my friend Donna, one of my checkout friends, how many of you have people you call and say, yeah, what do you think about that? Okay, I asked Donna in Fresno. She says, independence means you're completely self-sufficient. I said, and then why are you married to Jim? And she said, well, it means that I can do my own thing because I have a job. And I said, what about the women married to another Jim with no job? How can they be independent? And she said, they define their life in their heart as the being they want to become, not as an addition to Jim. So we're speaking of independence in layers, are we not? One is the ability to be self-sufficient in whatever category works for you. It may be financial. It may be standing as a strength person in a partnership. It may be standing in relationship with your children as an individual while still loving and parenting them. So independence itself has questionable definition. So your job from now till 3 o'clock is to find what it means for you. And remember we talked earlier, what do you do if someone disagrees with you? What if they don't see it that way? Then you find the heart resonance and clear voice in you to understand what independence is for you. The art of independence requires some things. It requires becoming self-aware. You have to know who you are. And self-awareness is an interesting piece in and of itself. First, you become aware of something, a desire, a dream, a financial goal, a health commitment, a pain in your heart that you want to heal. Once aware, you then make a decision. You're willing to do something about it. Do you hear the gap? We have people aware with many things, many times, but they don't make the choice to act. So they live in the pain of awareness with no action. So once aware, then you choose to act, but then you have to have a plan. Because you can't act discriminately, and discriminately you can't shoot from the hip. So I'm aware, I'm willing, and I create a plan. That's the easy stuff. Then you have to do the plan. And the place most of us fall down is the distinction between awareness, willingness, and a plan, and enacting the plan. That is the dance we must make well and own. Second, we have to set goals. We have to name possibilities. Now, how many of you, when you hear goals, hear linear, logical, somewhat boring, maybe not my thing? Okay. So we need to be afraid of the words set goals. Goals themselves just means an end point, something I want to achieve. It can be linear, but it can be something very different. It can be that I promise myself every day to take care of me, and each day I will spend 30 minutes doing something just for me. Listening to music, taking a hot bath, taking a walk, telling all the friends and children and beings and creatures who love me and want to be petted and licked and held by me and all that jazz. We just say to them, I get 30 minutes. That can be the goal. So find the goals that resonate to you and start with low-hanging fruit. Start with things easy for you to achieve, because many of us are not good at goals. And many of us are overachievers, so we set the most lofty goal. Today, next year, will earn $500,000, no problem. How many of you think there's a gap between $30,000 and $500,000 in a year? How many of you think it's possible? Yeah, it's possible. And we want to make sure that we do successive approximation, meaning we shape the destiny to our goals. We have little activities along the way that help us feel good about that. So let me ask you, how many of you watched a child try and learn to walk? Who's done that? Okay, here's how we do it, right? Okay, I'm going to ask you if this is how you did it. Okay, child's over here, Aileen. Child's in the family. We got 7 people in the living room. Child's over there. Okay, we're not looking. Has he walked over yet? No? Okay, don't look. Did he walk over, April? Okay, don't look. Okay, nobody look. When do you think the kid's going to walk? Is that how we help a child walk? No. Child stands up. 7 people go, ah! Child falls down and drools. We go, all right. Child takes 1 step. We go, woo, 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 woo. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So what are we doing? We're shaping success by every feedback moment. How are you going to give yourself the feedback to shape your success? How are you going to say, that's it, come on, self, 1 more step, that's it, you can do it, come on, self, you can do it. How many of you right now are experiencing one kind of personal challenge that has been very difficult for you? Okay, so you want to find a way to love yourself step by step through it and not stand there and say, how come I'm not over there? Is that not what we do? We beat ourselves up because we're here in the experience of the challenge and we get very angry and disappointed because we see where we want to be. Next, you have to manage your time and live life intentionally. Some of us are very linear and do that well. How many of you are more organic, like time management in itself is a challenge? Okay, so then that takes different discipline, which we'll look at. You want to find your voice. Find your voice. That doesn't mean your vocal capability. It means your ability to speak from the heart and from your truth without ever harming another person to do it. Do not confuse find your voice with take people out. May I make it clear, I have a karate black mouth. This is a registered weapon. You do not want to take me on at the level of conversational verbal karate. I will win. And when I understood that at 29, I put this weapon on hold. The biggest rule in my life is that I may never use the weapon against another human being. And when I do, I have to do major apology. How many of you know you're the most dangerous person in the room with your mouth? So the art of self-discipline is to speak your voice in a way that is responsible and not harmful. Managing stress and emotions. We know now that irrespective of biophysiology, that about 85% of all physical illnesses start with stress. Because cortisol and adrenaline goes into your system to help you overcome things like energy needs, getting through the day when you're really tired, and we become used to drawing on cortisol and adrenaline to give us extra energy. And we have a society that never shuts down, so we don't get to go to the cave at sundown and have a cave moment with the fire, and then tell cave stories, have cave partnering, cave putting the kids to bed, and then we have no stimulus. We are stimulated all day, all night. So what starts happening is as cortisol and adrenaline remains in your body, your psychoimmunoendocrine system, that system which heals and recharges you, cannot function. So you literally have your foot on the gas at 100 miles an hour and your body can't recharge. So you must find a way to manage your stress in order to, as Sabrina said, do extreme self-care. In order to, as Nancy said, stand strong and able in your voice of clarity, speak the truth from a place of wellness and clarity. Because how many of you are your worst enemy when you're tired and wounded and feeling like a victim, and then you speak your truth? Scary stuff, huh? Okay. Now, also learn your gifts and learn how to use your talent. All right. Can you make this happen? You have to create it from within. I want to tell you something. The fact that you're here already tells me you're different. This is an obscure conference that's hard to find. How many of you understand that? Not a lot of people know we exist. We're like the secret share, right? So the fact that you found it meant you beamed in on some unusual nonlinear plane and got here, which tells me you're unique. You are someone who wants to make a difference in your life, and you're here standing in that commitment, different than all the people who are not here, and that includes you too, men. All right. So what do you have to use in order to become independent? You have to know some universal laws. And here's one. The law of control. You feel positive about yourself to the degree to which you feel you are in control of your own life. What do you choose to have more control of now? Write it down spontaneously. What came to you when I asked the question? What do you choose to have control of now? 1 word, 2 words. What came? Doesn't matter how silly, Logical, it can. Well, what? What do you want control of now? Could be your diet. 2, the law of cause and effect. For every effect in your life, there is a specific cause. Everything happens for a reason, be it linear or nonlinear. Who believes that? Then you are the creator of your life experience. By your perception alone, if not by your literal creation and attraction. So where do you need to see cause and effect in your life? I want you to think of one thing that's in your life that you wouldn't say is so sweet, and say to yourself, what does it teach me? One thing in your life that's not so sweet, how did I create that? My precious thing is right over there. That's my daughter. I co-created that, actually. There was another entity involved, probably multiple entities, actually. Okay. The law of belief. Whatever you believe with feeling or emotion becomes your reality. Whatever you believe with feeling or emotion becomes your reality. What are the things you believe in that have become reality to you, both desirable and undesirable, that you want to change? So one of my first realities was at 57, 3 years ago, I had a full hip replacement. Now, I was a 57-year-old in a sea of 85-year-olds. I was having big cognitive dissonance. I was a ballet dancer. I have no other health issues at all. And yet I ended up having microinvasive surgery. And I had seen myself as a person who never gets ill, never has a problem, lifetime energy, worry about the future later, I'm eternally forever powerful. And the universe said, not exactly. So I sailed through that first week off the walker, second week off the cane, third week out of physical therapy, fourth week back to work, and the universe said, clearly you don't get it. Let's have a bone puncture and dislocation 6 months later. Yeah. So that was unplanned. And then I had a little come to internal control and creation reality. And I understood the universe was saying, you are not invincible. You may be a powerful individual. But just like all the women in the wealth panel said, you need to make a plan for your life differently than you have up until now, because the universe brings surprises for you, just so you can learn more. What's another law? The law of correspondence. Your outer world is a mirror image of your inner world. We've had that said, haven't we, by many people. Nancy said it. What was your saying, Nancy, that how you play your life is how you, what did you say? How you do your finances is how you play your life, something like that? Excellent. What you do with your money is what you do with your power. Excellent. Okay, so another way of saying that. So what are the inner world images you want to hold? I hold one of financial clarity and freedom. I hold that for myself. And I have some journeying to do with that. I hold another one, that I will never make a decision without consciousness. And if I slip into a moment of unconsciousness, I will never say I didn't know. I wasn't awake, I didn't pay attention, whoops, my bad. So that I own every decision I make at every moment, and I'm awake about that. The law of mental equivalency says your thoughts, vividly imagined and repeated, charged with emotion, become your reality. So let's talk about the brain. The human brain is designed for personal survival. It has two goals: avoid conflict and stay alive. So we have this ancient brain in today's world. So your brain sorts 80,000 times faster for danger as a biophysical survival need. So when you're in a room and a conversation gets heated, the first thing happens is the law of primacy. You say, what does it mean to me? Are they attacking me? Am I at risk? Am I in trouble? Who knows what I mean? Okay, so if you see that there is a law of equivalency, then one of the things you need to know is, and write this down, even things I think become neurological pathways of belief. The brain has the ability to build repeat thought into its infrastructure to the degree that it becomes embedded memory that never happened. So I'll say it differently. You can think something so many times you believe it was true and a real experience, and it wasn't. So we live in a world of reality known only to us individually. No one on the planet lives in your world. No one hearing this talk will hear it the way you heard it at all. So you are all hearing a different talk. So what are you choosing to hear? What are you hearing when people comment? What do you hear when someone says something to you? What do you hear when someone says, hey, beautiful? Do you turn around and wonder who it was? Or do you say, yes? I wasn't talking to you. Oh, that's okay. I know I am. Okay? What are you doing with your translation media? Okay? It's very important. So, what vividly imagined thought do you want to repeat and hold as true in your real world? What vividly imagined thought do you want to repeat and hold as true in your real world? My thought, which I'm creating at the moment, which I don't know how this is going to come out, I'll see what it comes out as, is I am a good and powerful person who is capable of attracting all that I need to be remarkable, successful, and abundant in the universe. I am a good and powerful person who is capable of creating all that I need to be remarkable, successful, and abundant in the universe. And the law of expectation. Whatever you expect with confidence becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy. What have you been confident about that you've expected and came true? Who has at least one miracle story you could say about your life? Something that even surprised you, like you have no idea how it happened, but you just set out an intention and it happened. That becomes your anchor for creation. We know that if the brain has one experience of positive and capable attraction, you can go back to that, and if you embellish that sound, sense, and experience in your moment, the brain will go back to all the creation tools it used then. Which means if you go to a fear experience and you deepen that and you repeat that over and over again, your brain will go to the place of lack and victimization through thinking. But if you have one positive anchor thought that is generative, and you know you were in the zone, who knows what I mean by that? You were in the flow, you were on it. You can go back to that and say, take me back here again, use those same skills for my new vision. And your brain will go, your brain is an instrument of creation waiting for clarity. And to the degree you give it confusion, it says, yes, ma'am, stand confused. Waiting in confusion, I don't know what you want, but I'm here in total confusion, and I'm willing to stay here as long as you need me to be unclear. Right? Okay. The law of attraction. Because you inevitably attract people and situations into your life in harmony with you, then everything that's in your life you've attracted. So I have a curiosity. Who came here to see me? Stand up. Who came here to see me? These are the people who love me. Maybe he's not sure, but the rest of them do. So thank you, because I believe that you came because we have something we're generating together. Friendship, appreciation, respect, energetic commitment. And so we might be 20% of this group, which takes us to the tipping point. And the tipping point says 20% of any group can shift the group's outcome. So I charge my people to continue to be powerful in this training and introduce yourself to everyone, because you have someone in this room that needs to know you and they you. So be it. Woo! Okay, so becoming self-aware. Woo! Okay, so becoming self-aware. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who? Who are you? You need to know who you are, because if you don't know, they're making it up. So right now, I want to know who has 3 adjectives that describe you, that you intentionally represent on a daily basis. 3. Good for you. Good for you. For those of you that don't have 3 adjectives that you intentionally have, I want to be seen as honest, competent, professional. I want to be seen as good, caring, productive. I want to be seen as, if you don't have those 3 adjectives, then you're out in the world willy-nilly hoping somebody gets your outcome. So I want you to take a moment right now, write the 3 you have, or write 3 you want to own, and you have permission to change them. What are 3 adjectives that are demonstrating how I want to be seen in my life? 3. We got people peeking at other adjectives. You may steal other people's adjectives, by the way. It's all right. Adjective stealing is totally fine. Because the next question is what makes it yours. You ready? Look at even one adjective and write this question down. What does it look like to be that? What does it look like to be that? So you say, I want to be honest. Okay, what does it look like to be honest in your world? Because we have 60, 70 some odd representations of honest, and every person's claim for honesty, how many of you understand this, is different. Okay, so take a look at that adjective and say, what does it look like to be that? Because that's how people will know you're claiming it. You have to become something. You have to stand in it and express it. You have to have an affect or a movement or a speaking or an energy or a look or a clarity that when they meet you, they go, I see that in you. I see that. What are your early recollections, stories, and memorable events? Those shaped you. Some of them you're still unraveling. Some of them you're owning with giftedness. How many of you have some things that your parents gave you that was their best stuff that you don't experience as yours? And how many of you would say it's alive and well reverberating in your memory? So you have some work to do, and here's how you do it. This is a way you accept and move out of something in your mind. You ready? So first write, I love my mind. I love my mind. And my mind is always trying to help me get what it was taught. Okay, so every input in your mind comes from an act of experience or teaching that your mind says, wow, that was really important to you, that painful time when your dad screamed at you and put you in your room. Let's remember that. So it's just trying to record all the big stuff, right? All the emotional charged stuff. So when you get an experience that's negative or painful, what you say, now you've got your 3 adjectives or at least 1, correct? True? Okay. So it says, remember when Dad said you were stupid, like your boss just looked at you? Wow, that's confirmation you're still stupid. So your mind says, thank you, and you know what? I'm actually brilliant in paying attention to that. Thank you for sharing. I'm actually brilliant now. Thank you, I'm actually powerful. I know you're trying to help me remember, and thank you, I'm actually brilliant. So you thank your mind for sending up the old memory because it's just trying to remind you of what it's practiced knowing. Right? It's practiced holding that for you. Like my young man who's holding on to, people say, depressed and not motivated. And how was my work with him? What did I start with? I don't exactly buy the depressed, not motivated thing. So if you want to work with me, we can dispel that. And you can keep it. You can stay depressed and motivated based on your own experience because at the end of the day, whose choice is it? And he said, mine. I said, yes, it is. I'm just a mirror. And then Mom, who's sitting like this, remember that? I said, and she's really not in the game at all. Okay. How do you become self-aware? Stay present, stay awake, and stay conscious. This is serious stuff. Write this down, serious stuff. That means your diet, your exercise, your sleep. And you don't succumb to the Western model. The Western model says we have no body. It does. It says we have no body. We in the Western world, we're heads, hands, and feet. How do I know that? Because people say, I'm tired, but I'm not going to bed. I have a headache, but I'm going to push on. I have a bad hip, but I'm going to ignore it and limp for 2 years. I know someone personally who did that. I actually should eat better because I'm feeling tired and I think it might be sugar sensitivity, but I'm going to push on because it's the holidays and actually you can't not eat sugar during the holidays because that's what we're expected to do. Alrighty-dighty. Okay? I should actually exercise more, but people in my family are fat, so why try? How many intergenerational statements are you claiming? Oh, everybody in my family has a big butt. Oh, everybody in my family wears glasses. Everybody in my family has a bad back. And I'm 30 and I'm getting one. Yeah, okay, I'm not the postman's child because I am a bad back girl, and that's part of my family intergenerational inheritance. Who knows right now you're sitting on a claim of something that you're supposed to have because somebody told you it's what you people get. Who's got one? Yeah, okay. Give it up. Give up the big butt and the bad back and go for skinny and healthy. It's only a thought away. Seriously, because the thought's going to drive it home because it's going to be some work to fix it. Okay. And if relationships do not define you, what does? The challenge within the self, we constantly are pulled between the desire to be connected and the desire to be independent. Do you see the duck trying so hard in the dress-up suit to be a penguin? This duck is sure that if he can join the penguins, his life will transform. How many of you know right now you have on occasion put on a penguin suit? Yes. All right. We often believe the answer is to fall in love and be cared for. Hello, my prince. This is a monkey putting its arms around a kitty. Because you know what? We never know who will love us, and we shouldn't say no when they do. Our story about love. All of our lives we have been searching for the one thing that will ensure the quality of all experience and provide us with a happy ever after, free of pain and anguish and separation we find in the world. The thing that we imagine seems to hold the most promise for us as far as furnishing us with the ultimate happy ever after is the perfect relationship. When in love with another, what is happening is that around that person, we have an experience of our own essence. And we fall in love with that experience. Then we make the cause that the other person, rather than recognizing that what we love is ourselves around that person, we say something about them inspires us into a direct experience of our own beauty and our own supportability. What we've really done in their presence is fallen in love with our ultimate self. How can I be the being I so love with the other, whether they are here or not, and recognize the being I so love is me, in relationship with this person, that I had it all along? It was me all along. And I thank that person, that daughter, that friend, for honoring and being in the presence of the love I have for myself, which you so aptly allow me to share with you. Thank you for that. So independence, then, is the state or quality of being independent. It's freedom from control of others, or it's under one's own control, or it's under one's own authority or a jurisdiction, depending on the self for existence. So ultimately, if I am that which is, if I am that which is all essence, if I am you and you are me, to love self is to love you, and to love you is to love me. In the world I live in, which you may not live in, there is no separation between us. There is only distinct impressions of individual consciousness. But at the end of the day, we're living in one realm. Interdependence is this. Relationships are all there is. Everything in the universe only exists because it is in relationship to everything else. Nothing exists in isolation. We have to stop pretending that we are individuals that can go it alone. So can we be independent? Yes, we make self-actions as an independent person using our own logic and strategy, and we intertwine with others and relate with them. And they make actions that are different than our preference and look very different than our choices. And so we have to honor that there's something they're doing for them that may be out of our realm and may not be something that we are to influence. How many of you have somebody you love and you're trying to help them not do the thing? Okay. Who are you to know the thing is not exactly what they need to do? Who are you to know that the thing that they're to do isn't exactly what's going to transform their life to become something more remarkable? And that you, with your interference game, trying to stop the ball from getting into the basket, are actually the problem. And maybe they need to fall down so they know how to get up. Because you aren't going to be here forever, girls and boys. And if you're there helping all day long, they got little wings that fly like this. And they need to have wings that fly like this. How many of you know your wing snippers? Yeah, there's a wing snipper in every room. This is interdependence. Here is a dog and a dolphin kissing on the water. They said it couldn't be done. So you got to challenge your perception. You've got to see things differently. So when your best friend and fitness buff tells you he is dating a 300, oh my God, and 20-pound woman, and you go, holy moly, where has this guy gone? Has he lost his friggin' mind? I don't think so. That man's going to have a whole lot of fun. For those of you that can't see this, this is a 7-foot, 320-pound, drop-dead gorgeous blonde. Because you thought it was about a fat girl, you went to judgment and disappointment instead of curiosity and interest. Write this down. It's more useful to be curious than to be right. It's more useful to be curious than to be right. The Dalai Lama said, consider the following. We humans are social beings. We come into the world as a result of others' actions. We survive here in dependence on others. Whether we like it or not, there is hardly a moment of our lives when we do not benefit from others' activities. For this reason, it is hardly surprising that most of our happiness arises in the context of our relationships with others. So you do have to draw on those mental laws. You do have to have the law of expectation. You do have to have the law of attraction. And here's why. Who knows about Emoto's work? Okay. There is a man in Japan who posed the question, does water, which is one of the most malleable substances on the planet, get affected by thought? Thought. So he froze crystals of water from various locations, some of which were very filthy and dirty. And he realized that these crystals, when under a microscope, had very disorganized molecular structure. They looked unclearly defined. And that when he put writing on the bottle, or words of love and peace on the bottle which held the water, and left it there for a day or two, that the water, when then frozen again and sliced, changed molecular structure. This on the left is the Fujiwara Dam before offering a prayer, and on the right it is after a prayer. We, ladies and gentlemen, are almost all water as a human being. When the water is removed from us, we have very little left. So if you think for a minute that your thought directed at another does not have impact, I stand here in a belief of my own, you are wrong. And the very thought you hold impacts the world. The very energy you run transforms or damages the system of experiencing life. So your job, because you're here and choosing to be awake, is to manage your thoughts, to always have compassion, And the question I charge you to ask, when anyone comes into your life that is uncomfortable, surprising, disharming, alarming to you, here's the question you ask themselves, and you may want to write this down. What is it about this person that I can't see and I don't understand that would cause them to behave this way? What is it? What is it about this person that I can't see, I don't understand, that would cause them to behave this way? Because we live in a world, when we think of an iceberg, that looks at the top and the tip, and we make decisions on life matters from the tip of the iceberg, when 90% of what's going on with that person we never know. Perception is choice. People create a thought and validate it with logic. They notice what's useful to validate their thought. They remember what's useful to validate their thought. Their thoughts determine what they see, and their thoughts determine their perception. A person will change perception when they get new information. So, what thoughts and perceptions do you want to change? I want you to think of one thought that you know you have right now that is not useful. About a person, a place, a thing, your potential, your life, your future, and write it down. One thought. Okay, we have 3 adjectives, right? I want you to turn to somebody and tell them one adjective. And I want you to tell them one thought that you would like to change in whatever way is appropriate for you to share. What's one of your adjectives and one thought you would like to change that is appropriate for you to share? Go ahead. You got to have some GOALS's. What are you going for? Why are you in this room? What are you going to do when you walk out of here that's different so your life becomes more? You have to know what it is so you can measure if you're there. And we know the most powerful thing to do is to write it down. Even if you write it in a journal. You can buy a Franklin Covey very technical piece, or you can write it in a personal journal, but you've got to get it out of your brain onto paper so you believe it's real. Gotcha. And you got to know when you want to get it done. Because the universe, remember the universe is like this. I am in chaos waiting for your direction. I am in chaos waiting for your direction. I want to make a lot of money. Good. We'll just have it out there sometime. Got the order. Sometime you'll make a lot of money. Sometime you'll make a lot of money. When will I make it? Sometime 75, 85, 95, 100 dies. Got a lot of money at death. Good girl. You took it to heaven. Thank you very much. Got it. You have to have a clear end point. And you have to have successive approximation like that baby. You have to say, how will I know I'm on the way? I wanted to earn $200,000. I'm not there yet, but close. But at one point, as a special ed teacher for 14 years working with emotionally disturbed high school kids, I earned $30 an hour and thought I'd died and gone to heaven because it was way better than raspberry picking in the summer. So I had stepped up when I got out of my 5-year teacher plan. And I was on it, right? Till I got into an airplane one day and there was a gal 6 years younger than me making 3 times my salary, because when she went to the high school counselor who said, God, you're pretty smart. Let's see, you can do 2 things as a smart girl, be a nurse or a teacher. I said, I'll be a teacher. She said, good choice. How many of you got steered into a career because they said that was what you ought to do? Okay. And you got to know what it's going to cost you. We have our beautiful friend who may have to take out a loan based on 4 financial advisors and 1 of some other kind. And she wasn't sure about that. But now she may or may not be thinking about that, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay. So perceptions create reality. I want you to pay attention to this. You select what you choose to see. So when I was 48, I put an earring hole up here because I'm slightly the corporate rebel, right? So I have 2 holes down here, 3 over here, and I want to do the big for the corporate world, and I put one up here because I thought it'd make me different. I went to the U district to visit my daughter in a sea of people with earring holes right up here. Now, how did that happen? Did they know how amazing I was and run out the moment I got my hole punched and punch one? Or had it been out there all along and I missed it, because why? I wasn't looking for it. I got a red car, drove it around for a while because it was different, like Bettina's jacket, hot and red. I got on I-5, and you know what I saw? A bazillion red cars. Now, how did that happen? Because they were not there when I was driving a green Ford Taurus. So somehow we know either eternal possibilities exist which you never see, or what you choose to pay attention to surfaces in your life. Write this down. What you focus on grows. What you focus on grows. What you focus on grows. So my question to you is, you got your adjectives, you're playing with some goals, you got a world of eternal chaos waiting for clarity, you got a powerful room full of amazing human beings, many of you have tonight and another day. You have the Spitfire Queen over here, who's the hottest thing on the planet in her package that exists ever. And you got my personal team, raise your hand, my personal team, who are here to personally meet you and do something in your life. So what does it mean? The law of correspondence. You all attracted us here. My saying as a speaker is never, oh God, we should have had 500 people here. I can't know what happened to the marketing. I go, no, 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 no. The exact perfect person, name by name, arrived here today because there are no accidents. You in this room were meant to be here today. And your job is to figure out why. Great breath. Let's do that again. Let's breathe that one in. Ready? I love it when it goes ding. All right. So now, what does independence look like to you? You get to define that. You get to determine it, you get to create it, and you get to identify what you want to put into your personal recipe for independence, because nobody can tell you what it looks like to be independent. Many years ago, I dated a man many people did not like. Many people did not like him. And I was no longer dating him, and I went to a party alone, and a woman said to me, "Oh my God, are you with that guy?" I said, "No," and she said, "Oh, I was so concerned about you." Now, this is the karate black mouth before it was reformed. You ready? I looked at her. May I use you as a focus? And I said, "You don't know me and you don't know him, and you have no business telling me that I minimized myself by partnering with anybody. Until you walk in our shoes and live in that relationship, you may not speak badly of him. Are you clear?" She stopped. That's about the law of control. That's about the law of cause and effect. People can send really bad stuff my way, and I can go, "Ah, God, that was painful." Or I can go, "Oh, excuse me, was that directed to me? I'm not accepting that right now. I'm so sorry that's in your consciousness. Let me mirror it back to you." Boom. It's all about this. Balance, believe in yourself, ask for inner knowing, live your truth, acquire the life you want, nurture your body, connect with spirit and expert wellness. And here's what it looks like. Know how magnificent you are. Know it. Don't be curious about it. More breath. Remember evidence that reminds you of all the things you're proud of. Get objects, create a treasure map, get photographs. Go to a place of remembering your magnificence on the days when it's hard to hold. And find someone who loves you enough to look you in the eye. May I look at you? And says, "You are a remarkable, powerful, amazing human being, and I will hold that for you until you can hold it for yourself. So be it." Listen to those who love you and know what gifts you bring to their lives, and hear the truth about yourself and confirm it is so. Ask for your inner knowing. Expect inner knowing. You have voices. We've spoken about them. They're talking to you all the time. Do this, do that. No, don't do that. Do this. Good idea. Wouldn't go there. Oh, you don't want to go. You did that before. Remember how it hurt so bad? You might want to make a new choice. It's in there all the time. And we go, oh, no, can't hear you. I remember another time I dated a man. And my 3 friends said to me, he looks a lot like your ex-husband with more money. And I said, oh, no, that can't be true. Of course, I was less profoundly developed at that time, and I didn't know all these tricks. And then I called her back in about a year, and I said, how interesting. He looks a lot like my ex-husband with more money. How did I miss that? She said, it was familiar. I said, that's true. Believe your inner knowing when it comes. Act on your inner knowing and follow its direction, and spend time in thanks for all the truths you receive. Allow your perceptions to guide you in the experiences you want. Listen to your heart rather than your neighbors, friends, mother, etc. Keep the old beliefs that still serve you. How many of you have some really juicy old beliefs that really work for you? Keep them. And embrace the new ones. How do you acquire the life you want? You have to get it. You have to go after it. You have to be clear about it. And you have to know without question you are able to do it. And when things come to distract you, like hips and elbows and things like that, you just say, so be it. Why did I attract this into my life? And what can I learn? And thank you for stopping me, universe. Probably I wasn't quite focused enough. And design the life that allows you to be creative in whatever that means to you. Ask for what you want and do what it takes to get it. And appreciate what you receive with gratitude. Nurture your body. This is a big one. How many of you know right now you've got at least 3 things you could do differently to be more well and more rested? Do them. Please. Connect with spirit, whatever that is, whether it's the belief in human goodness, the belief in miracles, a direct relationship with God, or some entity that serves you. But know that when we recognize there's something larger than ourselves, even the dream of where we want to be, it gives us solace when our days and times are more difficult for us. We can know there's something else out there. Expect wellness. When I went in with my elbow dislocated and punctured, the physician said, it looks like a restructure, and we got to pull a tendon out, and I'll try and fix it up, and I'm not sure how well it'll go. But we're just going to let you kind of work on it yourself. And I said, I'm the woo-woo healer girl. I needed no second surgery, full rotation in the elbow. Physical therapist said, don't know what you did, never seen it before. So either they badly diagnosed, or something around my intention, or some things we don't yet understand at the quantum level, collaborated with my elbow and me to do something that looked like healing. What is it? What is it? What is it to be an independent woman? It's phenomenal. Phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, I ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need of my care, 'cause I am a woman. Thank you.